Welcome. Thank you for joining me for another card combination video. In this one, we are going to focus on card number 20, the Garden card in the Lenormand fortune telling deck. Once we get to know the Garden card very well, we will go through the other 35 cards in the deck to learn how this card modifies each of those potentially in a reading. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll probably notice that this deck is different from the one I've used in my other videos. This deck was recommended by one of my viewers, John. Thanks for recommending it. I went ahead and bought it on Amazon. He mentioned that there was an older version of Lenormand. This box right here of cards is a reprint of the 1799 original cards that were used as a parlor game called the Game of Hope. There are 36 cards just like regular Lenormand, and in the box there is the instruction booklet. If I can get the box open, the instruction booklet on how to play the Game of Hope, and then it also gives the meanings of the cards as well, which are pretty much just the same as the meanings that we use today in the but in the other version of Lenormand. Anyway, so there's that. Thanks again, John. I appreciate the recommendation. I really do like these cards, and I'm really glad that I bought them. I do have to say, and you'll probably notice, these cards are a bit bigger than your typical standard playing card size cards. So if you do regular readings that are grand tableau readings, you probably would avoid this deck just because it takes up too much space. But for smaller, shorter readings, it's certainly suitable and an enjoyable deck to use, in my opinion. I like the way they shuffle, and I actually like their size. They're slightly smaller than most tarot decks, which I find a little bit difficult to shuffle sometimes, depending on the thickness of the cards. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this. The Garden card, once again, giving credit to my primary resource for my for checking on meanings. This is The Art of Lenormand reading by Alexander Musrick. It's a really easy book to use, and this is my go-to. This is my go-to book to check when I get stuck in readings or and to do these videos. All right, so the Garden card all by itself. You'll notice in the top right-hand corner on these cards, we get the playing card inserts very clearly displayed. The 8 of Spades is the playing card insert for the Garden. The keywords associated with the Garden are a gathering or an invitation. The keyword that comes to my mind whenever I see the Garden card is I just think of the community of people that we typically surround ourselves with, our close friends and our family, people that you see, on a daily basis or weekly basis. The author of the book, Alexander Musrick, writes about the Garden. He says, the Garden announces that you will soon be introduced to a group of people and a new friendship will be born. You will be invited to a birthday, wedding, gathering, or party. The message of this card is that it's time to make new friends. The body part associated with this card is just the immune system. Now, a good way to remember that, in my opinion, is since the Garden is a place where you would grow herbs, and herbs are a primary resource for herbalists who are into natural medicines that would work with the immune system. That would be a good way to remember that this is a card representing the immune system in the body. The timing of this card is also easy to remember. It's either 20 days or the 20th of the month, indicated by the number 20 at the top of the card. 3 weeks obviously works as well. The influence of this card is either neutral or positive. The nuance is either portrait or mood. The archangel associated with this card is Raguel. Planet is Uranus. And the zodiac sign is Aquarius. If this card comes up in a love reading for a single person, the message is that it's party time. You need to go out more. If this card comes up in a love reading for a person who's in a relationship, the message is that your relationship is reaching an important level. If this comes up in a health reading, this represents good health. If it comes up in a money reading, this could represent money gained through successful enterprise. In a work-related reading, this represents teamwork. And then the special power of the Garden card. The garden has the power to create warm ambiance and in no time make a party out of nothing. So pretty overall positive card. Now let's see how this card modifies each of these other cards in a reading. If you have the garden in combination with the rider card, this is an invitation, incoming invitation, or this is just news of a party or gathering. An invitation or news incoming of a party or gathering. Or if you're the one holding the party or gathering, maybe this is an announcement of your guests arriving. If you combine the garden card with the clover, this is a social opportunity or a happy gathering. A social opportunity or happy gathering. The garden card in combination with the ship card, this is a cruise, represents a cruise, or it represents being in pleasant company during a trip. I don't know if any of you have ever been on a cruise before. I used to work on a cruise ship when I was in my 20s. And I can tell you that the garden card with the cruise, with the ship representing a cruise is appropriate because if you've ever been on that cruise, you know that for the duration of the cruise, the people who are on board with you become your community of people that you see every day, right? Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not so good. When I was working on a cruise ship, I worked in the casino. Our Atlantic crossings were 10-day cruises. And if you got a bad group of people, at the time when I was working, a bad group of people were people who were kind of, grumpy and cheap, that sort of thing. If you're working in a casino, you depend on your tips for your income. So cheap people were always, you're working for free, so it kind of sucks. But anyway, yeah, so that's your community of people. Cruise, being in pleasant company. The garden card in combination with the house. This is a house with a garden, literally. Could represent a cottage. That most castles have their own gardens. This actually almost looks like a castle in the back there. Well, it's a big house anyway. But it could represent a castle. So that's a literal reading right there. If you combine the garden with the tree card, now the tree card is the health card by itself. This is, if you'll remember, we just went over this in health reading, the garden represents good health. So this combination just represents good health. This could also represent a forest. It could represent open space or just a healthy group of people. So an outdoor sort of situation, forest, open space, or just healthy group of people, or just good health in general. The garden in combination with the clouds. This could be a crowd that's disturbed, a crowd that's unhappy. It could be rioters, maybe. We see rioters all over the place now because everyone's unhappy, right? There's a lot of unrest among humanity. Rightfully so, I would say. So this is a crowd that's disturbed, or it just could represent bad weather. Maybe you're having an event and you want to know how it's going to work out. And if this combination comes up, this could indicate that you're going to run into some bad weather and might have to either postpone or cancel the event. The garden card in combination with the snake. This represents a dangerous person or a troublemaker. Now, the snake card all by itself represents that, a dangerous person or somebody who's causing trouble, maybe somebody who's jealous or envious. With the garden card, I would suspect that you could read this, that this particular dangerous person or troublemaker is actually within the community of group, or the group of people that you are referring to when you're thinking about the garden. So somebody who's a troublemaker within the group. The garden card with the coffin, this could represent an event that's been canceled. This could represent a group of people who are dark, who are into dark things. This could represent an undertaker. It could certainly represent a cemetery, right? The cemeteries have gardens and they have coffins. So a canceled event, a dark group, someone who works in a funeral home or cemetery, or it could represent the cemetery itself. The garden with the bouquet, this represents popularity. This could literally be a flower garden, or this could just be an opportunity to be noticed. So popularity, literally a flower garden, or an opportunity to be noticed. The garden card with the scythe. This is a decision made within a group. So the scythe is like an action card. It's making a decision. It's cutting something away. It's finality, right? So this could be a decision being made. This could be an indication that you should be staying away from social events. Cut the social life out for a little while. Spend some time by yourself healing whatever internal wounds that you have to heal. So this could be an indication that it's time to like stay home for a little while by yourself. The garden with the whip card. You'll notice in this deck, this whip, when I first saw it, it kind of looked like the bouquet card, because it has the red, and I thought, oh, that's a bouquet of roses, but it's not. I think that's blood. I think that's supposed to indicate blood. So that is a gruesome whip right there. So the garden card with the whip, this could represent a public debate. This could represent fighting within a group, or this just is your opposition. So public debate, fighting within a group, or the opposition. Garden with the birds. Now in this deck, it's just one bird, but typically there are two. This is either a public speech, or this could represent a concert or choir. Easy to remember because birds sing, right? So it could represent a concert or choir, which is an event or gathering, or this is a public speech. Or maybe this just represents communication within a group of people, because birds represent verbal communication. So it could just represent communication within a group of people. The garden card in combination with the child, this is a small group. This could be an innocent gathering. Maybe it's a gathering of children, a birthday party. It could be a field trip. Maybe it's just a play date sort of thing. So a small gathering or an innocent gathering. The garden card in combination with the fox. This represents teamwork. If you'll remember, the fox can be a work card representing clever and creative ways of making money, thinking outside of the box, because the fox is clever, right? So it can represent a work card. So in this case, teamwork. This could represent false company, somebody in a group who is being sneaky, keeping secrets, doing something behind the scenes, maybe that's unpleasant. So false company, or it could be an event that is suspicious some way, an event that doesn't feel right. The garden card in combination with the bear. This could be a big event, as opposed to the child card where it's a small event. This is a big event. This could be a group that is really strong. Or this could represent a chain of restaurants. Remember, the bear card in health readings could represent eating disorders. So if you think of eating when you see the bear, then maybe it'll help you, at least it would help me remember that this could be a chain of restaurants. However, I have to say, I don't necessarily see that coming to mind for me, but I could certainly see how that would work. So a chain of restaurants, big event, or a strong group. If you have the garden card in combination with the stars card, this is social ascension. Maybe this represents the awakening of humanity. So social ascension, this could represent social fame. So recognition in a group is fame. Or this could just be night clubbing. So it's an event or a party sort of thing. So and the stars could represent nighttime. Or maybe you might even think of that, spinning ball that you used to see in discos back in the day. So this could represent a nightclub. The garden card in combination with the stork, this could represent a baby shower. The stork can be an announcement of a baby. So this could be a baby shower. This could be a housewarming. The stork represents movement, right? Movement and change. So this could be a housewarming. Or this just could be an uplifting conference, an uplifting gathering. Because the stork is a positive card. So this is a gathering that is positive. Housewarming or baby shower. The garden card in combination with the dog. This is a get-together with your friends. This could just be a friend who's popular in the group. Or this could just be a festive, a party animal. Party animal in the group. So a gathering with your friends, a popular friend, or a party animal, festive friend. The garden with the tower. This is a public building. Public building. This could be a public organization. So it could be anything, really. I mean, it could represent anything with the garden as public or like some kind of venue. Maybe it's representing a school. Maybe it's representing a church or, you know, any kind of public building that could be a place of gathering for many people. And this could also represent higher standards. Having higher standards. This spot on the card, it's not dirt. It's not something that I put there. It's something that's on the card. I honestly don't think it's part of the picture. But it's there. I think potentially it's intended to make the card look more vintage. Because it's got little spots on it too. Sidetrack there. I just noticed that about this particular card. I think the cards do have a little bit of a vintage appearance to them because they're kind of brown and they've got the speckles on them. So yeah, that might be the reason for that. Anyway, moving on. The garden card with the mountain. This is an event that's been blocked. Or it's canceled. An event that's blocked or canceled. Maybe due to weather. So if you had the garden card, the clouds, and then the mountain, that would be a really clear message, right? You got weather-related problems, so the event's either been postponed or canceled. Blocked event. The garden with the crossroads. This is a verdict. A decision being made. Or this is multiple decisions. This is either a verdict or many decisions. Multiple, I shouldn't say many. Multiple decisions. The garden with the mice. This is a loss of popularity. Remember, the mice eat away at things. They take things away. So this could be a loss of popularity. This could be public irritability. The mice are annoying, right? They cause anxiety. So this could be public irritability, public anxiety. This might come up in a reading about what's going on today with coronavirus. It's causing anxiety. It's causing irritability. I did a reading, by the way, yesterday for the collective, and I think I'm going to go ahead and post it on here. It came out to be pretty relevant, so I may go ahead and use that reading on my channel. I thought it was interesting. Anyway, moving on again. So loss of popularity, public irritability, or it's an event that's just stressful, a stressful event, something that causes anxiety. If you have the garden card in combination with the heart, this is a social butterfly. This is an event that's passionate. Maybe it's a wedding. Maybe it's an anniversary. Maybe it's an event that's been thrown together to surprise somebody with a proposal. So it's a passionate event. It's a loving event. Or it could represent a person who is a social butterfly. The garden in combination with the ring. This could be a wedding ceremony for obvious reasons. Wedding ceremony, or this is just a public agreement. So the ring can represent contracts and agreements, and this represents public, so public agreement. I'm not sure what that would be, what kind of public agreement you would have, but because it's pretty hard to make everybody agree on one thing, right? But that's what it says, public agreement or wedding ceremony. The garden with the book. This could represent a book signing event. This could be a secret social life. So the book represents secrets, things unknown, especially if you see the book closed on the card. Sometimes the book's open, but in this deck the book is closed. So that's secret. Whatever's inside the book is unknown so far. But all you have to do is open that book and find out, right? So secret social life, or it's a secret event. Something secret. Secret social life, secret event, or book signing. The garden with the letter. This is graduation. The letter might trigger a memory of like what a it's a piece of paper, right? So it's a diploma. So maybe it represents a graduation. This could also represent an invitation to an event, invitation incoming, or this is an announcement, some kind of announcement. Garden with man or woman. This is someone who's popular, someone who's festive. This is a social butterfly, or this is an event that's important to this person. Important event to the person, or the person themselves is popular, festive, or a social butterfly. Garden with the lilies. This is a meditation group. Remember, lilies can represent peace and harmony. So meditation group, this could be a birthday. The lilies can represent the older generation, specifically an older gentleman. So maybe since someone's getting older, maybe it represents a birthday. Or it can represent an anniversary. You've been with somebody for a while, you're celebrating another year with them. The lilies represent longevity and time, right? So this could be an anniversary, or just a peaceful group who meditates. The garden with the sun. This is a social development. This is a group that's positive. Social development, or a group that is positive. Or if you're doing a reading and someone wants to know, I hope, I'm having a party and it's outside and I want to know if it's going to turn out good, and you get this combination, the cards are obviously telling you, yep, it's going to be a sunny, beautiful day for your event. If you get the garden with the moon card, this could be public recognition. The moon card is, that's kind of like the stars, right? The stars are recognition. The moon is about creativity and intuitiveness, going inside. It's a very personal card. So this could be public recognition, or this could just be a positive reputation. The garden card with the key. This is a door that's opening. This is an important event, or an important meeting or gathering. So an opening door, some kind of opportunity, or an important meeting or gathering of some kind. Important event. The garden with the fish. This is a financial meeting, or this could be a trade show where somebody is selling their wares or their talents. So a financial meeting or a trade show. The garden with the anchor. This is a secure position or a safe meeting. A secure position or a safe meeting. And then the last card, the garden with the cross. This represents a cemetery, just like the coffin could. So this could be a cemetery. This could be a public burden, like the coronavirus is a public burden. This could represent a prayer group, a group of people who come together to practice their religion, whatever that might be. So a group that is spiritual. Cemetery, public burden, or some kind of group who practices their common spiritual beliefs. And there you have it. That's the garden card. This video is successfully done, and I have to tell you at the end of this video, I didn't want to jinx myself at the beginning. I've done it over a couple of times. And don't say, oh, it's Mercury up retrograde, you shouldn't be doing video. I know, and I had a personal experience with it now. I always used to kind of roll my eyes when people said Mercury retrograde, but now I see what they're talking about, because man, I've had some issues with this video, but it's finally out. So I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it 20 or 30 times. It was at least a good, pleasant card to do a repetitive video on. I've learned all about the garden now, and I think I know it pretty well. I hope you are becoming familiar and comfortable with it as well. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for any comments that you have to offer me any suggestions. John, thanks again for the recommendation of this deck. I really like it. I will continue to use it, at least for a while, for the next couple of videos. I really like this. Just like the simplicity of the pictures, and I do like the size of the cards too. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you have any comments, I will see you on the next one. Thank you.